Assalamu alaikum.
Peace again. I want to make real clarification first because I have to do this. Unfortunately, when Muslims say certain things in relation to fighting and warfare and this and like this, the powers that be, I'd rather say, because I don't want people knocking at my door trying to take me out and want to question me over my statements. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm taken away from my life, because it's taken out of context. It's taken out of place and put in the context they want it to be, so they can X me out and put me down as one of the enemies or one of the part of the evil axis that they put together in the list of they so-called say terrorists and all this other type of things. So my clarification from Taalib Abdur Rahim and from also my videos are always clarifying what I am and who I am as a Muslim and what I'm upon. But again, I have to clarify. When I said aggression from Islam and war and fighting, this is all in a context that has to do with protecting. It's under the category of protection. Like a human being has this right to protect themselves, or the human beings in the Constitution have their right to bear arms until they remove that, so then they can make everyone without the protection to bear arms, or the right to bear arms, which help them to protect themselves from those who want to harm them. You understand? Of course, there's responsibility, there's regulation, there's boundaries set in that aggression and in that warfare and fighting. And they have the name, they call it, of course we know, in Islam it's called Jihad. Jihad has regulations, has rules, which we know as the Sharia, that establish these regulations and rules when it comes to Jihad. I can't just go out and say, I'm going to make jihad on these people or this particular group or whatever. I can't do that. This is not permissible. And when it comes to the word jihad, originally from the religious development of the word, because Islam developed and words developed in the Arabic language, in the Arabic, to become, to have its religious meanings. Jihad, when its religious meaning, first and foremost, is the main part. It means struggle. It means struggle. It means to struggle against and strive against. Okay? So the religious scholars of our faith, the majority with a consensus, okay, they agree that this word, from what it came from the Quran and the understanding from the Prophet and like this, that it means to first and foremost to struggle against yourself. Struggle against the evils of yourself. Struggle against your temptations. Struggle against the desires that you have that lead you to do harm to yourself or even others. Okay? Fighting the shaitan, fighting the one that we know in Islam as the evil enemy of mankind. And then in Christianity they have the same belief, and Judaism. Okay? And those are the three main monotheistic faiths that believe in the devil, and Shaitan, and Lucifer, and Iblis, and these names that he has throughout those three main religions, and including especially mine, as I said, three, Islam. So when it comes to jihad, when it comes to struggle, that's what it's based on first and foremost. And then you have the outside struggle, the struggle against those who might try to harm us, those who might try to take away our rights to believe and worship Allah as a Muslim. Come into our homes and say, no, you can't do this, and force us to not worship Allah. Or go into our communities, Muslim communities, and do this. Or lands, Muslim lands, and say, no, you have to follow what we bring to you. This is what you're going to do. No, then we have the right to reject them. And the rejection can be aggressive. It can be physical. It can be violent. Because this has been done throughout mankind's societies from early to now. Come on, let's stop playing games. So let's stop trying to play the peace game. Everyone wants to act like they're the most peaceful person. Like and hippies are not even peaceful, because I've seen hippies that become known as yippies. back in the times when I studied about hippies, talking about hippies. And yippies are more violent than the hippies. But they were all hippies. But yippies started getting drunk, started venturing into other areas of drugs, because that's what they were known for. Most of these hippies were, and they were basically peaceful drug addicts. Okay, and they wanted to, and their main they had a political position, revolution, as you want to call it, going against the wars in the different countries, especially America involving itself into warfare in, like, for instance, Vietnam, especially when a lot of that movement started, you know. But they weren't even peaceful. The Indians with the Hare Krishnas, they weren't all, you know. Buddhists, they're not. They're Buddhists killing Muslims in Burma. Come on, let's wake up, people. The human being is not a peaceful, all peaceful being. Look at the earth. Look at the proof. Look at what we've done to our lives here on earth. Stop playing this peaceful game and start trying to be peaceful, but stop playing that you are peaceful because you don't do this and you don't do that, because you're not of a religion. No, I don't play that game. And you know, these panelists, and I'm going to get into the other video because I don't have the time really. Ayan, Hershey, Ali, I just wanted to make this clarification because I got to definitely do it. People misunderstand a lot when it comes to my faith. And Douglas Murray, these atheists, or now to be atheists or whatever, they went away from what they believed in as believers, so-called believers, and then became atheists because most of it was based on the bad experiences that they've seen from other faiths. So now, okay, then religion is bad. That doesn't make sense. You're going to take one religion or then different actions of different people in that religion and then say that the belief in God is bad and there's no God. That doesn't make sense to me. To me, it seems like that they're using what they experienced to try to promote that and influence people to follow them. Now, yeah, y'all will agree and want to agree as far as reforming Islam so it won't be considered aggressive religion, and reform it so that they can take out the components and remove that all of what the Quran says, like according to Douglas with his atheist self, and take out God and just leave it to people, Muslims. As he said, there was three things. That he said that is a factor. Number one, that the Quran and Allah and the Prophet, all what has been said and whatever put out there is wrong. It's not right. It's evil. A'udhu billah. And may Allah be glorified above these evil statements against him. And then number two, that the hadiths and things like this and what was stated by the Prophet. And then number three was the Muslims, left up to them, which are the best, because their majority, the moderate Muslims, so-called moderate Muslims, show that they want peace, that they want to do. So there can be some peace in Islam because of that. No, Islam has peace already. It doesn't need that. It has peace in what it is accordingly to where it is supposed to be applied, and is mostly throughout the belief that is what it is based on. Submission to Allah and peace. I mean, submission to Allah alone, worshiping Him alone, and then peace comes in your life and living this life until He takes us all from this life, and then we're raised up and we're judged for our actions in this life. This is our faith. This is the belief. But because you're atheist, because you disbelieve, you cannot conform it to how you want it to be. And this is what they're trying to do. So I will go back in the next video and try to touch base a little more in detail on how they brought in their arguments a little bit that I want to touch on. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.